To the left then, please. Left. Turn. 1, 2, 3, 1. Shoulder. Up.
If we leave Afghanistan now, Al-Qaeda will again use Afghanistan as a base from which to attack the West. I say we cannot let that happen. But it's what you do that will actually prevent it.
Tributes have been paid to a North Yorkshire soldier who's died after being wounded in Afghanistan. 25-year-old Captain Andrew Griffiths served with 2nd Battalion, the Duke of Lancaster's regiment, and died on Sunday in hospital. His father, Brigadier Mike Griffiths, is the head of the regiment in which his son served.
The tributes being paid to Andrew Griffiths today are quite exemplary. His commanding officer said, "The respect he commanded from his men was genuinely the most impressive I have seen in a young officer in all my 24 years in the infantry."
On you go, sir. You'll get briefed by one of the colour sergeants.
Good afternoon, sir. You have to smile on this. It's a lovely day to join the army, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah.
My registration is to the right, on the left. There's a newsletter here for parents, guardians.
Thank you.
Hi there. Let's get it, Derek.
Okay, you're in 1 platoon Alamein company. What I'd like you to do is just go into the main hall, turn right down the corridor.
Everyone's. Oh, the first 5 weeks are going to be hard, and I just can't wait to get stuck in, get my overalls on.
I think it's a blissful ignorance at the moment. Don't know what to worry about. Dark, he said.
So what?
But no, it's not really dark.
Well, it's got to make it be more serious, really, hasn't it? You've got to rein yourself in. I think for the first 5 weeks you can't have a. You can have a personality, but you don't want to stand out, do you? Because to stand out would be to be noticed, and I think you don't want to be noticed.
Six people missing stuff. So we might have some people not turn up. Well, at the moment I'm missing 6, so unless they're down there now at the moment.
I'd like to give you all a huge welcome, really, to Sandhurst. 269 British cadets on course 103, 238 male and 31 female. So let's start really with what Sandhurst does. Well, the basic aim is to develop leadership. And using Field Marshal Montgomery's great definition, what is that leadership? It's the capacity and the will to rally men and women to a common purpose and the character which will inspire confidence. That leadership must be based on a moral authority, and it must be based on the truth.
Bond. Batty. Boney.
Yep.
Cons.
Yep.
Chapman.
Yep.
Durrock.
Yep.
Gillam. Stewart. Stott. Yep. Right, do we have Axford? And Batty.
Well, and we put October 31st in our diary.
Is that where the first week?
Yeah.
Approximately 30 seconds, quickly say goodbye to mums and dads, and then get fell back in here.
Take care. Take care.
You have a fantastic time.
Yeah.
You look fantastic.
Right, left, quick, march, left, right, left, right, left, right.
No makeup to be worn at all. Do not let me catch you out. Put little bits of mascara on there. No jewellery, and in no way nail polish. Are we all clear on that?
Yes, Sergeant.
Are we all clear on that?
Yes, Sergeant.
Right.
This is me and Baroness Thatcher. After Sandhurst and after a few years in the military, I'd like to be made of the stuff that, you know, a good politician would be. I'd like to represent people.
Some of them think I'm quite brave, and then some of them think it'll be fine and I'll be fine. But, yeah. And then other people have literally no idea. They think I'm just going off to like some sort of cushy boarding school, and I'm like, it's not quite that friendly.
Your ablutions and toilets are at the far end of this corridor. Yeah, they're your toilets and your toilets only. Okay? No stage should any females be coming in here without supervision from their staff sergeant. Okay? That's vice versa. You do not start going into their lines.
I've been with my girlfriend for a long time, and we recently split up about a year ago. Effectively kicking me into touch gave me the impetus to think, right, well, I've got to do something for me now, and I've always wanted to do it. I thought, well, if I might as well give it a crack. I'm not getting any younger.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I've even done uni and I still get homesick.
Hurry up. Right, gentlemen, listen to me now and listen good. Alright, first morning of getting up, not everybody here on time. Yeah? You need to start thinking and you've got to be on parade 5 minutes before. Alright, if you're not on parade 5 minutes before, okay, that means you're late. Alright, if you were 5 minutes late for the Queen's Parade, do you think you should be too pleased? Do we think you should be too pleased, gentlemen? Right, gentlemen, we're starting the morning to a bad start. That is your first and final warning. Everyone understand me?
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay. Tops of the lids open on your water bottles. Gentlemen, drink your water bottles. Once you've drunk it, place your water bottle up in the air over your head to ensure it's empty. All of it. It's not a race, alright, however, it needs to all go. Gentlemen, we sing the national anthem, we sing it with pride, yeah? Right up, so it's upside down on top of your head so I can see it's all empty. You be sick. Clean it up if you're sick. Keep going. Gentlemen, that's stress importance of the water breaks in the morning for you to keep fluids on board. Yeah, it's important that you do and throughout the day continue. Alright? Everywhere we go we'll carry your hydration. Alright, don't worry about it, clean it up in a minute. Are you going to be sick again?
No.
Okay. So it's important that we continue to set the fluids on. Right, gentlemen, you don't have to look at that on the mobile phones. Right, it's a little bit more calm down. Yeah, are you going to be sick again? Right, you're going to be sick again, go to the toilet. Right, gentlemen, that's it, water bottles down. Right, next parade you're on at 0600 hours, outside, right, ready to rock and roll, to go and do areas. Are there any questions? Correctly dressed, i.e. coveralls with your boots on. The only person who's excluded boots are the two individuals. Right, you make a trail of it all the way down my corridor!
Right, you come and start it, please. Need to pull inside?
Yeah, he's come.
Starrett, it's just a quick one because I know you're quite busy. I spoke to Padre today and he explained about your friend.
Yes, sir.
I'm very sorry to hear that. When did it happen?
He died not the Sunday just gone, but the Sunday before, and was injured 9 days prior to that in Afghanistan.
Was he in Selly?
He died in Selly from his injuries.
Who was he?
Captain Andrew Griffiths from Duke of Lancaster.
Lancs, yeah. I didn't know him, but yeah, I saw that in person. Because he's a close friend, I think it's quite important to try and get you the chance to go up there. Would you want to go?
I would love to go if I could, if it's possible.
Yeah, I think it's quite important that you pay your last respects if possible.
What should I leave for you? This is a set haircut.
Okay, no problem.
Did you go to university?
I did, yeah. I went to Loughborough Uni a few years ago now. 2007 I finished.
Did you study anything
Geography.
interesting? Geography, map colouring.
A little bit of map colouring.
Did you enjoy it?
I did, yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, been travelling since, so I've had a good last 6 years.
Right, tell me about your family. I live with my mother and my stepfather. My father died when I was 14.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I kind of decided to join the army at the age of 15, so I don't know whether that was a turning point. I kind of thought maybe I should find out what I'm going to do with my life. I thought after that.
I've had it short before. I've had so many different haircuts. Having a mother as a hairdresser.
So you used to experiment on this?
Yeah. Oh, it was really bad. Like.
By the right. Quick. March. No. Nice. No. Nice. No. Nice. No. Nice. No. Nice. Left. Turn. Hop. Check. 1, 2. Quick. March. No. Nice. No. Nice. No. Nice. No. Nice. Turn. Hop. Check. 1, 2. Make sure the arm is coming shoulder high all the time. Let's try it again. Hold. 2, 3, 1. Check. Miss Darren. Walk as if you're walking naturally. You're like moonwalking. Hold. There we go. Check. 1, 2. Better. Better. Squad.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
What's your name?
David Stewart.
Mr. Stewart. Come and sit down over here, please.
Thanks, sir.
How old are you, Mr. Stewart?
I'm 22 years old, sir.
Where are you from?
Edinburgh. Currently reside in Isle of Skye.
Currently residing in A Block. A Company.
Sorry.
What did you do at uni?
I did history and English.
Anything interesting about yourself?
No, I'd probably say no, not really.
I was going to go to King's College to do war studies, but I needed BBC and I got BCD.
So what did you do?
I started doing a job labouring and then got offered a job as an electrician's mate, and I've done my apprenticeship and become an electrician.
Electrician. What about any issues you might have which you think I should know about before we sort of...
Other than me not being able to march, not really, sir.
Okay, the marching issue will come, I assure you. Thank you. Good to meet you, Mr. Thompson. Thank you very much.
Am I supposed to?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realise. Right.
Leave to carry on, sir, please.
Leave to carry on, please. Sir, please.
Leave to carry on, sir, please, yeah.
Leave to carry on, sir, please.
Yes, please do, Mr. Thompson. Thank you very much. Well done. Good effort. It's quite old. 25. 25 and a non-grad. It's got to be the oldest non-grad I've had, but we find he seems pretty dedicated. Anyone who comes to Sandhurst age 25. It's good.
Here we go then, number 1's out to come. Too slow change. Too slow change. Too slow change. Too slow change.
From day one, everything's hitting you at 50 mile an hour. It's a military regime. They've got to have a regime like that. If we don't, when we go on operational tours and things like that, how can we expect people to perform and fight for their country?
It's like 1 minute you're sitting there and you can go to the pub and you can just turn on the telly, or you can just do whatever you want, and you come here and it's just like, well, look at me, you're writing down your number and your name on the back of shirts that you were wearing like when you were about 5 years old, and you've got all this kit, and it's just, yeah, it's pretty mental, to be honest.
What time is it?
It's only 2, so still got a few more hours yet.
This fork needs to be next to the spoon. The knife has to be this shaving kit. It's all very precise. It's a work in progress at the moment. I've been neat before, but I don't think this is very efficient, to be honest. But I suppose there's a purpose to it. Because look at all this space that isn't used. So this drawer could take a lot of things, but right now it takes 2 sets of gloves, 1 belt, and about 11 pairs of socks. I was just thinking to myself, I had a couple of cigarettes outside a second ago and I had a bit of time just to myself, which was nice. And it's, yeah, I think it was just the first day, isn't it? And it's just a kind of change of pace. Now I know what's to come. It'll be alright. I hope. Your wife just had a baby?
Yes. She's currently 3 weeks and 1 day old now. So, deal with all these children and come up, go home and deal with some more children. You can't take it too hard on them. Well, I'd say you can't take it too hard on them straight away because, like I say, they're all still stunned at the moment. And we gradually get them into it and then we'll see a bit of a difference today now. But a bit of settling in time and now it's getting on to doing the job at hand. And this is where it starts, how busy it gets.
There was a little moment yesterday where I thought, I want a Jack, but I think everyone I spoke to said they had that little feeling, but then you've come this far, you've gone through it all, and to Jack in the first week would just be lunacy.
Maybe if I'd actually come here when I was 16, I'd be alright, but now after I've seen what I can have without the army, I want to do that.
It's only day 2. It does get easier and better as you get into routine.
It's not the course, it's the fact that I don't want to be an army officer.
That's fine. Okay. He was 16-year-old when he said he wanted to join the army. It took him 5 years to get here, and now he's here. He's seen the side of life, and at the moment he doesn't like it. But what he doesn't realise, it's not always going to be like this, and it does get easier to get into routine. I think it's just a culture shock.
At university, I think I changed quite a lot. We had this freedom, and this freedom I really enjoyed, and I enjoyed that a lot more than being this regimented style that the army offers. And I just don't think I function in it.
Okay. Well. Strictly speaking, you can't DOR, which stands for discharge as of right, until week 4.
Right.
Okay. Because I don't want to force you to be here, if you give me a verbal agreement now that you give it until next weekend, and if you're still not keen and up for it by next weekend, then we can start actioning your discharge. Then I'll go with that.
Hold, check. Mansell Lewis, you owe me 20 pesos, push him out.
Check.
He's got a
1, 2, 1. Check. 1, 2. 1. 1.
You owe me 20. Mr. Calais, down, push out. You've got 2 pouches open, 20 press-ups, yeah? And you've got kit hanging out of it.
I don't want to stay another interval or week Saturday. I just don't want to be here.
Mr. Batty! Some people there have got press-ups for no reason. You could have quickly, before you come out, buddy system, checked each other over, right, all pouches squared. If then you're picked up, your mate's jacked on you.
Don't actually know whether he's worth keeping.
Right.
He seems quite wet, a little bit weak, unsure. I could just be wasting everyone's time. But he needs to make an informed decision. So 2 weeks today.
By the right, quick, march, yeah, right, yeah, right, yeah, right, yeah, straight on the heel, gentlemen, arm shoulder right, clench the fist, push down on the thumb, lock out the elbow, next in the back of the collar, heel, that'll keep you in the step, yeah, right, yeah, right, yeah, right, no, right, no, right, no.
I was squadron commander of my Link squadron out in Afghanistan, and we're effectively providing intimate support to ground manoeuvre in Helmand province. When you come back from Afghanistan and come straight away to Sandhurst, They know you've just been applying it all out in one of the harshest possible environments. Yeah, it's tough. There are 95 guys here, men and women, and I have no doubt that some cadets who are here now will die on the line of duty. But that's the business we're in. That's the nature of the job we do, and I think most of them probably realise that already.
With the full military funerals, okay, there's a lot of people there and there's a lot of ceremony to it. There's a lot for you to learn and it's going to be quite difficult. When you come back, if you need a bit of time, we'll give you a bit of time. There's people here, there's myself, platoon commander, obviously we can get in touch with the padre if you want someone to speak to when you get back. Okay?
So.
Do you know? Unfortunately it happens to a lot of us and we have to go do these things. So, crack on as best you can today and then hopefully for tomorrow a better day. I'm Mr. Derrick.
Leave to fall out. Close up, please.
Yeah, please do.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, left.
Keep those arms pinned into the side anyway, Mr. Derrick.
Thank you, close up.
I tried to explain to him what a military funeral was going to be like, slightly. I was at 5 military funerals, like myself, last year. It's a very emotional time, and although he's got friends here who's made for the last 3 days, he's still quite alone. A lot of the ones I've been to have been very close friends of mine. And it's obviously emotional because you know these people so well and you've lived in and out with them for many, many years.
It has affected me, but it hasn't affected me negatively. It's just opened my eyes a little bit more, I think, to what the possibilities are. Yeah, for all the officer cadets that have come in now, it is something that they need to consider. You know, are they prepared to put themselves in that sort of danger? Because it's going to come to that.
It's a bit daunting that one of us, we could obviously be really good friends here, part our ways, go to different regiments, and then one day I could find out Gillen was blown up by an IED. But you don't want to think about that here. We've got far too much to think about at the moment. That's a long way off yet.
Give up on this already. And flipped it over 3 times and put it different every single time.
Yeah, where's Mum when you need her, eh?
Considering how much you're struggling with the old marching side of things, you still haven't got any press-ups for it at all.
When he pulls them up, he puts on a South London accent. Listen, mate, listen, let me do you a deal.
I'm definitely not.
I do not need them push-ups. What you need is... Some people just got rhythm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Thomas, when you speak to his girlfriend, he ain't got none.
I'm not very good at ironing either, so be honest.
You've got 30 blokes here in platoon that are all supposed to be marked out for leadership. Surely, some of us have got to be followers and others have got to be leaders, and I think that's going to create a bit of friction in the coming weeks, because, I mean, I can feel it. It might just be me being like tired and wired on sugar. I'm just overthinking about stuff.
Race! Turn! Turn! 1, 2, 3, 1! Go! Step off, Mr. Manson.
Thank you, Corporal. I've never even been to a funeral, so this is all new for me.
The SA-80A2 rifle, fitted with a bayonet and the scabbard. The bayonet itself, used for close quarter battle, can be thrusted into the enemy, okay, first of all without embedding itself into the bone. Because it doesn't embed itself into the bone, it's accurate. Also situated here, you'll see the recess, which is the blood channel. When you thrust that into the enemy, there'll be no suction, okay? You will be able to pull it out straight away. If that recess wasn't there, all the air, okay, would not be able to escape, and it would make it harder to pull it out the enemy. close quarter battle with a bayonet. Afghanistan, for example, you open the door, you're just about to go into a compound, you do not know if that enemy is going to be behind the door, the Taliban, etc. So you have the bayonet there, ready, just in case the rifle does not operate. Does everyone understand that? Yes. Okay.
They do want to talk about our experiences in Afghanistan. I was flying, and you can hear in 2 minutes, I don't know, there are 3 radio calls. The first one says they've picked up a triple amputee. About 40 seconds later, they say they're administering CPR. And then about 2.5 minutes later, they say the individual is now an angel. That's the term we use for people who die in operations. It's a difficult thing just to get your head around that clearly whatever happened before they get on that helicopter you're not privy to, mainly being involved in an IED, but within 3 minutes you hear someone lose their life, and it's pretty humbling.
Captain Griffiths was destined to be a leader. Steeped in the army tradition, born to an army family, Captain Griffiths' father once served as commanding officer of the King's Own Royal Border Regiment, and he is now the honorary colonel of his own son's regiment, the Duke of Lancaster's.
It was mentioned that he'd been on 2 tours to Afghanistan, and that was as far as the war in Afghanistan was mentioned. It was talked about how well he led his soldiers. He was a bit of an inspiration to all of his soldiers by all accounts. I only ever knew him as Randy Andy from university, but there's a lot of people that would do very well to live up to what he achieved. Dying for your country is fairly honourable. There are a lot worse ways to go, I think. So it's a risk that I'm prepared to take.
Right, gentlemen, first thing, who has not painted their red tag? Integrity now. Why not, Mr. Barnes? You forgot, all right? That's not acceptable, all right? So that end, okay, get it down, press up position down. 5, 4, 3, 2, on my timing. You should all be in the down position now. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Down, down. If I give you tasks to do during the evening, it's not for my benefit, it's for your benefit. I don't need a red tag on my Bergen, use the other individuals that do. If you can't take a simple order as paint a red tag, how can I expect you to start giving orders to soldiers that are going to be under your command if you commission out of here? Does anybody think they can disagree with what I'm saying? No, Sergeant. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Right, mission to fall out. Close out.
Fall out. First Sergeant, please.
Right, and then you'll turn to the right. 1, 2, 3, 1.
1, 2, 3, 2, 3.
Right, Frank Spencer! Where's the dog? Where's Frank Spencer dog? Yeah. Right. And there's part of the drum in the move on. What number is it?
1.
Which part does it stay still on?
2, 3.
Right, so when you move and you go 1, 2, 3, and you're moving like that, all it is from there, 1, 2, 3, 1! And you're away, yes? Right, let's try it.
going to tie your hands when we start moving, and I'm going to put a belt around you so we stay like that, yeah? Okay, from there, heels together. Better. Now, try do it looking up. Go. Better. That's how I want you, Mr. Thompson. Every time you come, yes? Disappear.
I was one of the kids running through the woods, playing pretend guns. Then I went on to do target rifle shooting, which was with the cadets, so that was a military thing as well. And I was actually I was actually asked to leave school when I was 17, and I was caught smoking marijuana, which was yeah, a regrettable experience. To be honest though, it sort of put me back on the straight and narrow. You know, it's a slippery slope, and yeah, it certainly bucked my ideas up.
Okay, Mr. Chapman, turn your head slightly towards me. That's better. Okay, chin up slightly, not too much, good. Okay, belt way too loose, yeah? Okay, what is that going to hold up? Hey, we're not back in the ghetto, all right, and you're wearing your pants around your ass. That is around your waist tight, all right?
Right left, quick, march! Left, ice, left, ice, left, ice, left, ice, left, ice!
Right! 10! 1, 2, 3, 1!
Switch on, gentlemen! Switch on! Attention to detail. Doesn't matter how fast you're going, the drill movements need to be carried out correctly. Do you understand?
Yes, sir!
Do you understand?
Yes, sir!
Colour sergeant, crack on.
March!
Stand still! Follow left! Quick! March! Down the wheel now! Down! 1, 2! Ah! Boats! 10!
1, 2, 3, 1!
I think certain people, like if people had gone to like boarding school, they'd be more comfortable with the whole situation. Because it's a lot. I've heard it described as Hogwarts with guns, Sandhurst, and I think that's quite a good choice of words. Because you know all the pomp and ceremony.
Stand still! Stand still! Gentlemen, why aren't we calling the timeout? You should be screaming the shaggy timeout! One more try, and you'll push me, and then we'll increase the pace again. We'll warm you up again. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir!
Start switching on, gentlemen.
It's conformity to the max, and I think that's quite a shock.
Do you never call him by his first name?
I don't know his first name. I honestly don't know his first name. We've been here for 5 days. What's your first name? Sam. Sam, my name's Ian. Nice to meet you. I honestly didn't know his first name. I'm just learning everyone's second names. Sam. Okay, that's stored in the memory bank now.
You are now a family as 3 platoon, aren't you?
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
You're all brothers. Work together, look after each other. All right, gentlemen?
Yes, sir!
I can imagine that, you know, some of my more liberal or Marxist friends in the civilian world might call it brainwashing, but in the army you call it training. So, I don't know, maybe I am brainwashed. But it's a good sort of brainwashing. Well, I don't like that, because if you think of it in terms of brainwashing, you're thinking of it in terms of something kind of untoward that's done to you that, you know, changes you. Whereas training is something you embrace. You want to become a part of the army. You want to be an officer. So you train. So your brain is totally receptive to everything that they're sending flying at it.
Obviously tomorrow we're going to go on exercise Virgin Soldier. For some of you, you will have been on exercise before, but for, I think there's a good 10 of you, so a third of the platoon, it will be the first time out under the stars in the sort of military environment. So I just want to lay a few ground rules now, okay? I've noticed some of you retain information incredibly badly. No sooner have I said it, then your hands are in the air and you're asking for exactly the same information to be given again. Tomorrow's a day of lessons, and that's the only day you're going to get. From then on, we're going to expect you, not to be the elite, but we're expecting you to get better and better. So certainly by the beginning of, by the second night of self-reliance, you can administrate and conduct decent routine in the field, okay?
I am putting a bit of rope to a spoon because Mr. Gray, who's going to be our second OIC, said that it would be handy if we all had spoons attached to our jackets, to our schmucks, and then we'll never lose them. So that's what I'm currently working on. Oh, a spoon in a pocket. Yeah, it's just, and then you have it here, and you eat, and then clean it off, put it back in. Bingo.
I've shot a pigeon with an air rifle before. The only time I've slept, I've been fishing, night fished, and I've been drunk and slept in the back garden. But that's about the limit of my my experience.
Tomorrow is where I come into my element when we're in the field. That is how I roll as an infantry soldier, and that's how we roll. So don't be afraid if I start shouting and screaming at you because you're not doing stuff right. I don't expect you to know it straight away. I'll teach you first. Then, once I've taught you, I expect you to then put it into practice. Yeah? Anyone planning on going sick tomorrow? No?
Judging by opportune, anyone can come. There's a lot of people in the other companies who I look at in Civvy Street and think, are you kidding? You can't go to Sandhurst. You couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag.
Can I get Harvard, Smith, Cass, Barnes, Skillam, Neve, Stewart, Whitaker, all down here please?
I'm feeling a little bit deficient, and because I'm making mistakes and being the funny guy, I'm being tarred with the brush of a clown and a joker, and that's probably what I'm struggling with, I suppose.
We'll sort out the men from the boys when we're on exercise and they're piss wet through at 3 o'clock in the morning, struggling to stay awake. Yeah. Some of them just infuriate me.
Having been told everything now once, we won't be told again, so now it's going to be no mistakes accepted, just do what you've been told. So, quite cheesy for a tikka masala, but what we're missing is a lager. That'd be really great.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find anyone here who hasn't at some point thought, why am I doing this and why am I here? Simply, why am I here?
Shaped?
Not yet, no.
There's tears occasionally, but we got told yesterday we weren't allowed to cry anymore. We had to man up a bit. Which is fair enough, because we're not allowed to cry in front of our soldiers.
Go your 2 ends.
Anyone can get cold and wet. The key is to try and keep warm and comfortable. So a good, effective soldier is the one that can look after himself in the field, really.
Right, I'm going to have to report this. Guys, I've cut myself pretty good, and I can't sort of apply dressing. Can someone just come over?
You've cut your finger getting your exoderm out?
Yes, that's right.
Right.
It's not really bad, I just...
Where have you cut it?
I think it's on this side of my finger. It's there, that's on.
Are you taking the piss?
You're a big girl. What? It's not big, I just can't stop the bleeding sometimes.
It's Chapman. You just get some testosterone down his Gregory neck, I think.
I'm not like your typical army bod or whatever. And they won't find me funny. I'm not quite as sporty as them or whatever, but I'm not going to change who I am to fit in. You know, I think they'll come around, hopefully, sooner or later. But yeah, I'm not overly confident. I know who I am, and I will just get on with being me and get through the course and, you know, enjoy it as much as possible.
You're knowing the enemy's killing area. We need to be momentum, speed and aggression. We're not all moving at the same time. They're engaging now. Safety catches. Pouches. Pouches. Pouches! Don't go through the motions of checking them if you're not going to physically check them. You lose a magazine on the battlefield, that's 30 rounds. That's 30 dead enemy if I was engaging that enemy.
It's something we talk about at night in bullying parades, and I kind of came to the conclusion we're working probably about 130, 140 hours a week, which is obviously, we worked out as a normal person's working week in 2 days. It's absolutely so fast paced at the minute.
At the moment I'm walking around all cammed up, looking at the staggered walk that everyone makes along the paths and tracks, and I kind of feel like I'm in Apocalypse Now. So I am doing a bit of movie reenactment in my head, but I'm trying not to because I think it's probably inappropriate. To be very serious. I'm resolved to be very serious.
Do we think that's acceptable now? Do you think that's acceptable? No, close on. Who thinks that's acceptable? So why the is it in that state? This is kid equipment, gentlemen, that you're going to use on the battlefield. Yeah? This is an aid to you seen at night. If it's not kept in a good state, how is it expected to work correctly?
Basically, I had a bit of a long-running problem. I say long-running, I mean 2 weeks.
Yeah.
With, at first it was my shins, and then I think for sort of counterbalancing that, I then developed a problem in my knee, in my left knee. The physio's explained to me that it's my infrapatella, and it's just causing me a bit of jip really. Going up and down hills is where it's really getting bad. But I don't like quitting. I've never really quit anything before, so I'm going to see it through.
Right, every single one of you here want to fight for your commission and want to be here. All right, so to that end, yeah, you should have the personal discipline to stay awake.
Next two, come on. They've been on exercise for just coming up to 3 days now. They've got to concentrate on staying awake because it is hard. You know, they've only had, what, 5 or 6 hours sleep since they've been out here. But they're still expected to stay awake, especially as these guys are all hoping to be second lieutenants, platoon commanders within the next 11, 12 months.
I only gave you the warning this morning. I only told the 5 people in front of the platoon this morning. That should have been enough for you to motivate yourselves to stay awake. 20 minutes of stand 2, that's it. It's not mission impossible, is it? Oh, check. 1, 2. Right, gentlemen, do you know why you're here?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Slept on the side.
You slept whilst you were supposed to be on duty, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Right. Do you think that is acceptable?
No, sir.
Do you know what would happen to a private soldier if he sleeps on stag?
No, sir. No, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what happens to him. He goes to jail for 28 days. As a result of this, you are now going on platoon commander's warnings. Have you already been told that?
No, sir.
I am telling you now, gentlemen, that's the last chance you get with me. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Cross me again and I'll absolutely snap. That is totally unacceptable. Disappear. Disappear.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, left, right, left.
Not completing an exercise or getting onto what's called the jack wagon, getting onto the ambulance, sometimes fine, you have an injury. But some of them are just simply fatigued and they will quit before their body gives out. And yeah, you have to ask some pretty serious questions because it's early in the course for them to do that.
Right, Miss Eldridge, do you know why you're here?
Yes.
Why?
It's for falling asleep on radio stack.
What, you fell asleep as well, did you?
Yes.
When did this come out? When did this come out that you fell asleep on Radio Stag?
Well, now I assume that was what this was about.
Well, who knows that you fell asleep on Radio Stag? Is that an admittance to me that you fell asleep on radio stag?
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay, you can speak to Staff Hardy about this once you've finished, and then the platoon commander will do you. But that is totally unacceptable to fall asleep on stag!
Yes, sir.
Totally unacceptable. Do you know why you're here? Why I've asked to see you?
No, sir.
I've asked to see you because you, at the moment, are just a civvy in uniform. There's no spark there whatsoever, Miss Eldridge. And the potential you've got is there.
Yes, sir.
Fall out.
Thank you, sir. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, left, right, left. Think about a really, really big, sweaty man in an iron forge, taking a piece of metal and hammering it repetitively whilst it's red hot. I am that metal rod, and I'm being hammered into a leader, an officer.
Why is people moving in that corridor? In bed needs pulling a lot tighter. Okay, that's not acceptable. The bed on that one, okay, so that requires to be done to a higher standard. Attention to detail, gentlemen. Attention to detail. New pictures, Mr. Stewart.
Yes, Girl Sergeant.
Are they your sisters still?
Yes, Girl Sergeant.
Are they going to come to the pass-off weekend?
Yes, Girl Sergeant.
Good. Who's laughing out there? Stop coughing. Die in silence.
Girl Sergeant Beza took me in last week, and we were just having a chat, and I was doing some jobs for him, and he said, "I really like that you've got quite a bouncy character, and you're quite you're quite open." But he said, "Just be careful that you don't take it too far, because people won't take you seriously when you're in command." I completely understand that, but I'm here now, and I can't change myself too much. I don't think I'm capable of. I'll always just be me, and that is quite loud in your face.
Lead to fall in, sir, please. Yeah, please, Lee. Sure.
Left, right.
Right, Mr. Shirt, I pulled you in here to place you on the Team Commander's warning, okay, because I'm not content with your performance since you arrived here back in September. At times I think you're very immature, okay, which isn't required at Sandhurst. I think your respect for the system at Sandhurst is below what's expected as well.
Yes, sir.
What happened the other day whilst Colour Sergeant was giving his room inspection?
My shirt was undone, my flies were undone, and I removed my appendage, part of my appendage from my pants.
Why?
I don't know, sir. Just not thinking.
It makes me angry that you're in the corridor whilst the Colour Sergeant's trying to do a room inspection, completely chilling him off, showing that you've got absolutely no respect for him whatsoever, trying to make other people in the corridor laugh whilst he's trying to do a room inspection. Immature is pathetic.
Yes, sir.
If this was a Hadmet battalion, you'd be freaking it out straight away.
Yes, sir.
As in, the platoon sergeant would probably knock you out straight away.
Yes, sir.
You need to question yourself if you really want to commit to this course. If you don't, then decide it. Speak to the platoon commander and get out. Yeah, because at the moment you're not showing it to me or the platoon commander.
You're by far the worst example of an officer cadet I've seen go through this place.
Yes, sir.
Okay? You need to up your game, otherwise we will get rid of you. Stuart, what a
Mr. Stewart?
Yeah.
Right, I'll have a chat with the company commander in the morning. I was not aware
no,
it was his
right.
testicles that he pulled out.
When he said it, I was on the back foot. I mean, that's a soldier's thing to do, really. That's not an officer's.
That's what I was just saying. That is what you'd expect of a private soldier.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that'll be the end of it. Who knows? Although I was a bit angry actually. Well, not angry. You keep getting told it's just a big game, and I'm beginning to believe it because. Am I the bottom platoon? I don't think so. If he tries to pull that again, I kind of wanted to laugh. Obviously, I couldn't. But bottom of the platoon, my arse.
I can't, as a company commander, look at 95 cadets the whole time and observe them with the same level of detail. but in the short term, you're looking for people who are not at the standard required, and long reach is about as good a tool to find those people early on, to see whether they have the commitment. You know, it's 180 square kilometres of real estate in the Black Mountains. About 70 kilometres they'll be expected to walk in 36 hours. And if they can't do it here, then they're simply not going to be able to do it on operations. So we design exercises purely with that in mind.
It's hard. It's really hard. It's the fault that you got, you know, you could have another 24 hours of this. I've already chin strapped. We've done about 14 hours now, give or take. And it's funny, you have your moments like 1 minute you're really down and hanging out, and the next you're pulling someone else along. So yeah, all good fun there.
Over there, that mountain, down the hill, 2 more checkpoints, back up to that massive thing over there, and then down to 2 more checkpoints before the end.
Hands up, contour around it.
Contour around. Let's give it a
Everyone?
go.
Right, let's go around it then.
Get on you.
Get up.
Just struggling to keep the pace, and like my knees much worse going downhill, and they basically took off me. I'm feeling guilty about it.
I was feeling a bit fresh and just help out on the knees. It's quite balanced, and if I fall over, I've got a bit of padding too.
It's going down hills. It's really just causing me grief.
Whereabouts?
It's the outside of my knee around here.
Only as strong as the weakest, aren't we?
If your mind goes on a task, there's normally a reason why it goes. And if you don't feel part of the team, that's a contributory influence. And being no longer part of the group, be it a separation of 100, 200 metres, that's probably the factor at play.
Quick, march! Go, yeah, off cadet. Cut! Right, turn! Sir, it's Officer Cadet is here for your...
Thank you very much. Mr. Chapman, do you know why you're here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'll read you this company commander's warning certificate. Officer Cadet Chapman is not meeting the standard of an officer cadet at this stage of the commissioning course. His performance when on exercise is of particular concern. This is to certify today that you've been warned by your company commander, me obviously, of the following shortcomings. Refusing to soldier whilst halfway up X-ray on exercise long reach while citing a lower limb injury is unacceptable in the light of your eventual completion of the exercise and subsequent categorisation by the MRS. This was compounded by a decision not to report sick on return to Sandhurst, showing a complete lack of judgment. Leadership. Officer Cadet Chapman has a particularly weak and ineffectual approach to leadership, which fails to inspire and carry other members of his team with him.
My dad used to go on pheasant shoots. He used to obviously watches all the war films. We used to go to like war museums and things like that together. You know, that seed then sort of grows in your mind, you know, and culminates in me, you know, deciding at some point in the past that I wanted to consider going into the military. I think I've always known that I've been a bit, you know, like the word you use is a bit wet, you know, a bit sensitive, a bit of a pansy. And I think that I was almost, before I was almost embarrassed in that and not comfortable with it. And I had something to prove. But if anything, I've come here and learned to accept that, I think. It's because it's who I am now. And I'm not saying it's too late to change, but I don't think I can, and I don't think I want to. I'm quite happy maybe just being myself.
It's like boarding school, you get that sense of who's stronger, who's weaker, and then it sort of prey on the weak in a way, isn't it?
Someone has to be at the bottom, and I think Chapman was for a while, so I could take the pressure off other people. But now he's gone, someone else could feel the heat, if you know what I mean.
When you get home, you've got to face up to your family and your friends. But then if you stay, you have to face yourself. So really, I think the fact that he had the balls to say that this isn't for me and that he left was admirable, really.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bassey. Your initial wobble when you started about wanting to leave on like day 1, that was just a bad couple of days for you, but you're back in now. Okay, so a line's been drawn under that. Okay, we won't mention that again. Not great performances seen on exercise version soldier or self-reliance, and I've said here that you're too busy trying to take shortcuts and looking for the easy option, okay, and that has got to go immediately, okay? Yes, nothing easy about being a leader. You've got to be rigid in your approach to absolutely everything.
The army doesn't appreciate losers. This is not the civilian world. This is not a place where thank you for trying, we're going to give everyone a medal occurs.
Left, right, left!
Well done. You were a bunch of individuals at the beginning of this term. We managed to turn you into this extraordinary team of drillers. So well done, and many congratulations to your colour sergeant, who's got you to this point so far. Because without him, it wouldn't have been achieved. So big pat on the back for him.
Your performance or conduct is currently below the standard required of an officer cadet. I don't believe this is due to lack of effort at all. I believe you are putting in everything you can. However, your military bearing is not at the standard currently required. And I'm giving you to week 4 of intermediate term, by which time we need to see an improvement.
Leave school out, Mum, please.